Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday. I was going to say peak of the week there, then I reminded it's only Tuesday.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to Donna and Cheryl TV, live with you Tuesday, the 8th of September. And it's unseasonably warm. Keeping it real.
You can't see me nails this time because I've got dark nail varnish on.
Like a bronzy colour, isn't it? It's nice. It's quite on brand. Hold your hand up like that, just so I can see like that way. It's kind of like up towards the camera. It's very similar to the colour of the bronze from when it's there, like a brownie bronze. Very nice. How is everybody doing today? Let me know that you're here. Say hi in the comments.
Sorry, I have to just wipe your nose.
Oh, well, that's nice. I'm talking about keeping it real. There's real, and then there's like the behind-the-scenes stuff that nobody wants to see. Like
keeping it real.
Look at that. That's attractive for you, isn't it? We save all the good stuff for you. Hey, Sarah.
I mean, talk about who cares what people think. Do you think I do? Do you think I care what people think of me? Answer there.
Honest.
Hell to the no.
Hell to the no. Well, we're very excited. So at the moment, as it stands at this moment, there are over 200 people already in our private Supercharge Your Self-Confidence Challenge group, which is amazing. And we don't kick off officially till next Monday. So they're all in there at the minute, getting to know each other, talking about what success means to them. The day they're posting success. What does success mean to you? talking about their family, sharing pictures, and it's just lovely seeing people from all over the world get to know each other, all there to stop worrying about being judged, stop worrying about comparing themselves to other people, get clear on their goals and create the self-confidence to go and achieve them. So if you haven't joined already and you want to join us, it's a really good time to join us today. And I dropped in live last night to say hi to everybody, which was lovely.
Fabulous. Yes, keeping it real. I haven't even got a snotty nose. It just came on when I got on the call. But yes, so today, one of the things that we hear so much about and that we have also, well, me less so, being bothered about what people think of us.
Like Cheryl's never had this gene. It just doesn't.
It's interesting, isn't it? But it comes back to what I've been talking about the past few days. So if you think like it is in there, it just manifests itself in a different way. It's not there now. But if you think like when I went to school, I talk about this. So when I went to school, I'm in a comprehensive school and I'm the only person who isn't white in the whole school.
Well, so I'm the other girl that they got you mixed up with.
Well, she was a year younger, so for the first year I was the only one. But then if you imagine like being in primary school, happy, everything was great, and then I got into senior school, and obviously this feeling different thing, which is it is about what do people think. It is because I felt so. I wouldn't say I was a worrier. I'm not programmed really to worry that much, but how it manifested itself was I had the exterior. This is where the exterior came from, where I basically had this hard exterior, like don't fuck with me. Sorry, I hope your kids are going back to school. Like this don't like mess with me attitude. So like, like if you looked at us, then you might think I'm going to smash your face in. So don't mess with us. But it was all just a way for me to, for nobody to mention the fact that I was not white, that I was black, brown, what you want to call us, half caste in those days. So therefore they wouldn't mention it. So that still was me worrying what people think about us. It's just I did it. I handled it in a different way, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It was like an aggressive edge, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I compared myself. It's slightly different from comparing myself, though. I wasn't comparing myself. I was just not wanting people to point out the fact that I wasn't the same.
Yeah.
But that carried through into my 20s, into my 30s. Like that's what got us through. Basically, nobody really did mention it. So it was a proven strategy. So let's just keep on looking like I want to smash everyone's faces in and we're all good.
And that is so. I remember the first time I saw you, I was walking across the ground floor in the office that we worked in. And it really was like that, don't mess with me air. Like, I think by then it was just such a habit that you had. It was like you carried it with you regardless of the scenario. Like that was just like, get out of bed and go. Yeah, wasn't it?
But I didn't know. So again, like reflecting back on this now, I didn't know at the time that's what I was doing. subconsciously I will have, but I didn't know. So now I just genuinely don't care what anyone thinks about it.
No. And what about you when you're watching today? Like, do you spend time worrying about what other people think about you, or whether you're consciously aware of it or not? Now we're talking about it. And if so, how does it manifest for you? So are you like Cheryl, quite aggressive? I was more your typical A-type people pleaser, like, you know, so I would do something that I didn't want to do to keep someone else happy and pretend that I was happy doing it because I was worried that they wouldn't like me. I was worried that they wouldn't, you know, wouldn't. And it was bizarre because I didn't really have any experience of people not liking me. And weirdly, then when I was bullied and stuff, that actually bothered me less. Like, isn't that insane? Like, you'd think that as a people pleaser, someone specifically picking on you. But I just remember thinking, like, she just doesn't know any better. Like, I felt quite sorry for the girl. Like, I genuinely felt quite sorry for her, because I remember, like, looking and thinking, she looked like she didn't have a lot. She looked like I knew her family, and they weren't from, like, the nicest of areas. And I remember, like, thinking, not like, I remember being aware, like, I feel like you're jealous, and I don't know why. But, like, so that didn't bother us as much as spending time worrying about if the boys thought you were pretty, or if the other girls thought that maybe you weren't the brightest one within your friendship group, or the teachers thought that you hadn't done your whole, do you know what I mean? I was always very conscious and, like, emotionally aware, super aware of what other people were thinking.
Yeah. Done it loads. Proper people pleasing now, much better. Still making progress with the mine-law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting though how for us both, we both had low self-worth, didn't feel worthy, didn't feel we deserved it or not good enough, but how it came out in different ways.
So
mine
different.
came out more aggressive, defensive, don't mess with me. And for you, in some situations, like you say, probably the bullying one is because that wasn't really attached to your self-worth. It didn't make any difference or not whether she liked you. But then with other people,
whose opinion I valued,
that's when you go into that way.
Yeah. And I really struggled in corporate for a long time, because what would happen would be, if I was, say, given a promotion, or when I was first promoted, look after teams and things like that, like, my first job that I went in corporate was a big job. I never just had, like, I didn't do the whole standard go in as a team leader thing. Like, my first job, I had hundreds of people under us straight away. So, and what I would make the mistake of is running the teams or my functions or whatever the way that I thought the people who had hired me wanted me to run them, rather than instinctively doing what I felt was right at the time. So I quickly learned that actually when I was doing that, when I was making mistakes and asking me to justify myself, I just couldn't justify, because I was doing what I thought they wanted me to do rather than what I knew to do. So that was really uncomfortable, like, as a process to go through, because you're failing at something that actually you didn't believe in the first place. And then you quickly learn, well, actually just do it your way, because I'd rather fail doing it the way that feels right to me than the way that you think. And I'd rather have that conversation with you that I don't agree with how you run things than have a conversation with hundreds of other people that I'm a crap leader. But that took a little bit of time to find my legs, because I was promoted when I was quite young. So that did feel uncomfortable in my 20s, because I didn't feel grounded enough in who I was yet. And obviously I had this really, like, abusive thing going on at home, like, knocking the crap out of us. So it was quite hard to stand me ground at first in work, but felt better when I did. But I learned the hard way. I learned the hard way. I failed spectacularly for a little while, you know.
So Mel's just saying, I used to worry a lot about what people thought about me. It's just in the last couple of years I've started to shake it off. Totally not there yet. Making progress. Progress.
And do you think, girls and boys, that some of it comes through age? Like, I do think there's a thing of in your teens and 20s where you do worry, like, a ridiculous amount about what people think about you. Some of it, I do wonder, have I just aged out of it? Because I worried less in my 30s and then not so much in my 40s. God knows what I'm going to be like in my 50s.
I mean, I remember, like, being a teen as well, and obviously everyone was into kickers and pods and all that, and I used to, so there was an element of wanting of what people thought, because I remember used to sneak me good shoes on the school bus in my bag, because I wasn't allowed to wear them, to put them on for school. So there still is around comparing yourself, wanting to have the nice things and wearing the nice clothes. That, you know, that was more in my teens. I wouldn't say I wasn't really like that in my 20s.
Like
but
different levels of awareness that you go through though as you grow. Yeah. And I think it's the third level where it's like the group mentality. Like you're more worried about what the group thinks about you than what your parents think about you. And so that is like a natural progression and growth that you kind of want to be in the herd, and then you realize that being in the herd's not the good place to be. Actually, you want to be the person outside the herd.
Yeah.
But you know, you just don't get that when you're 14 and 15.
No.
That's really natural.
So Sarah's just saying, hi Sarah, lovely to have you here. I worry way too much about what people's opinions of me is and go out of my way to please others. I'm always the one to put my hand up for things, so I'm seen to be leading.
And it's interesting that we think that that's leading.
I was just about to say there might be another word we call that. But
absolutely. It's because in your head you equate that to leading rather than, so that's like really interesting, reframe and have a little think about.
Yeah.
Wendy's saying I always get my work done. So I guess that is people pleasing, but it pleases me too. It depends whether it's the detriment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What did you say? I said intention. What did you say?
Yeah, it depends. Like if it's to like your detriment, your intention. Like, are you doing it with the aim of pleasing them first, even if it means actually you're getting less sleep or care less as I get older? Yeah, absolutely.
Cornies don't give a shit. It's funny though, because my husband, who's 49 in October, oh my God, he's much, and this is funny how we work together because he's much more reserved than I am. Like, oh, you can't do this. Like if I'm out somewhere and I wanted to get on the floor and start crawling along the street, I would just get on the floor and start crawling along the street. But he's just very like, oh, you can't do that. Or people are looking, or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't care. So he hasn't got like that since he's got older, was the point I was making.
I don't think I got better with age just since the real you. I love that. The other thing with Cheryl is though, and this is where I think, you know, say if something, not so much now, but say 10 years ago, if something was a bit outlandish or like you wanted to wear a hat, for example, like I have this belief that people that wear hats are really confident, right? Just like, I don't know why, but Cheryl would go out and wear a hat. And I'd be like, oh, you're wearing a hat? That's so funky. Whereas Cheryl's like, it's just a hat. And I say, and in my head, it would be like, what if people look at you? And she's like, I want people to look. Whereas I'd be like, I'd take the hat off because people would be looking. not so much now, but like definitely when I met her, I was just so in awe of like someone who just totally like dress and dance and do whatever they want to do, regardless of whether somebody else is in vibe with that or not.
Oh, thank you. But it is funny because when I met Graham, I am like that and was like that, and he was the opposite. But clearly, he loved it because we got married. And like when if I'd go out dancing, I'd be riding around the pole. He's like, "You get up and show them how to do it.
Yeah,
you go up and show them how to pole dance. They're not doing it properly." And he's standing, hold me drink.
Yeah, 100%.
While I just go and look like a stripper.
But I do think that the thing with Graham is as well, though. Graham was in the army. Like your job is to conform and be a line of one and not to stand out, isn't it? Like your job is so I do think that sometimes when they've been that way of life, with chicken and egg, whether that suited him well or the army helped him be that way, like so he's happy for you to get up and shine, but he's not interested. Joe's a work in progress too, but much better than I was. Having children helped me refocus my time and start putting myself in family first. Absolutely. Hey, Bruce.
Right, we're not going to be able to see our heads with this one.
Right, come on.
You put it on.
I've ended a 20-year toxic friendship after numerous chances I've given. The last straw was been having to take him to small claims court as he owes me over £1,000 for a holiday I loaned him money for. I used to think, who else do I have? I was really conscious of what he thought of me, but now I realize he was controlling and making me feel worse about myself, questioning myself all the time. Why did I consider this option before my own? No idea. Such a relief and a release. I am so proud of you because your friendships, it's like going against your family. Sometimes it's harder. Like, so to really take action on something like that, like hats off to you, Thomas, because it's one of the most difficult things to do. So I'm very, very proud of you for taking a stand to yourself on there.
And the thing is, Thomas, like when we're in that, we've got the rose tinted glasses on. We can't see what other people are seeing because remember, our brains are designed to prove ourselves right. We formed a belief about that person and ourselves. So we look for the evidence. So we're just in it. We can't see when people are looking, thinking, what the hell are you doing? So the fact that you've been able to come out of it and then look in and realize that he was probably really insecure and lacking something and had low self-worth and esteem, for him to behave in that way in the first place is a miracle.
For sure.
It's a miracle.
You need to see me in a hat. Honestly, my nose outshines any hat. So it's like I used to be this way, but now I really don't care about the people in a circle. Not always applied 100%, but getting better. Well done, Hannah. That's really good. I'm the worst for worrying what people think of me. You're not the worst, Amy.
You're not the worst.
That's a belief. I love that, Cheryl. So for me, the biggest strategy I would give you, and this is a lot of the work that we'll be doing in Supercharge Your Self-Confidence around really creating your inner confidence. The more you work on this, you worry less about everything else out here. So if you haven't joined the challenge already, I've popped the link on before, but I'll do it again. Please make sure you're sharing in your with your inner circles as well of people who you'd love to join you. But it's really about knowing that you really don't know what other people are thinking. You really have got no idea what people are thinking about you. What you will be doing is assuming the worst of yourself, because that's how you've been thinking for a long time, and then throwing that out and mind assuming, guessing that that's what the other person's thinking of you. So when you're worried about what somebody else, they're thinking this, they're thinking that, they're thinking that, actually it's you that's thinking that about yourself. So when you start doing this inner work on really working out, changing, not so much working out why you say it, because it doesn't really matter, but really reframing how you think about yourself through use of affirmations, through catching yourself that's, doing that thing of catching that thought of, oh God, I bet they think I look stupid in this. Oh, I'm doing that thing where I wonder what they think. Do I think I look stupid or do I think I look good? Right. And as long as you think you look good, that's all that matters. But if you feel like you look stupid, then you're assuming that that person thinks that you look stupid. So this is where your self-care comes into it, okay? So really just start listening to your thoughts, stopping them and challenging. Is that what I'm thinking, or is it what I think they're thinking? If it's what you're thinking, change it. If it's what you think they're thinking, you have no clue. You do not know what they're thinking. You cannot read minds. You don't have a crystal ball.
Just a story.
Just a story that you're telling yourself. So come back to self. So if you're not already in it, make sure you come and join the Supercharge Your Self-Confidence. There's so much good stuff in there today. So much good stuff. And it's people are already saying just they feel better just by being in there, which in itself is a little miracle, right? So tomorrow, remember, we've got Caroline Strawson on with us. So check Caroline out on Facebook or Instagram. She's amazing, and she's an expert in helping people who are in or have been in narcissistic relationships. She is unbelievable. So please make sure you're here with us to chat to Caroline tomorrow and come with any questions you've got, and we will see you there.
Happy Tuesday. Wear a hat.